throughout Canada to the table. We believe this is the right approach. Yes, the federal government does have one point of view. Oh, okay.
Yeah, Samari is sharing time, so MP Morris, please.
Merci, Monsieur Saint-Marie.
Thank you, Mr. St. Marie.
You being here, I'd like to ask about needed investments in housing from the federal government, starting with a recognition that back in the 1970s, 40% of all housing starts had federal assistance. Our Minister of Housing has publicly said that both Liberal and Conservative governments have reduced funding to the point that's partly caused the crisis we're in. Our current social housing stock, as you know, is 3.5%. CMHC has called out the $3.5 million affordability gap by 2030. And the Governor of the Bank of Canada has said that investments in housing supply are not inflationary. In fact, the opposite. Yet in the fall economic statement, we only saw $100 million new dollars, at least in the next 2 fiscal years. Can you comment on what the hesitation from your perspective is in not putting in place more ambitious investments in housing to at least start by, say, doubling social housing, which would only put us to the middle of the G7?
So, look, thank you for the thoughtful question. And I would just say, I think we agree on the objectives and the need. And I would point to the really aggressive approach we've taken in housing since the beginning of this fall session. Completely eliminating the GST on construction of all purpose-built rental. That was a very big step. We did that in September. Adding $20 billion to the Canada mortgage bonds, again, really big step. I am already hearing from builders across the country that will lead to more purpose-built rental, including affordable housing being built. And with due respect, and I don't mean that in a snarky way, I mean that in like a really serious way, the adding $15 billion to the apartment construction fund, that is making a difference right now. That fund was initially had $25 billion. $17 billion has already been committed. And so what we did in the fall economic statement is add another $15 billion. So it's $40 billion in total. And that money, like, putting that money in there is having an impact right now because people, when they begin projects, people beginning a project, proposing it at the end of 23 or the beginning of 24, it takes them a while to have the plans, to have the permitting. And now they know that there is money in that fund that they can apply for and build their plans around. So that is money that's going to make a difference today. But that's actually true. It's really true.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. And now this will be our final questioner of the minute.